Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 55 of the Casual Gamecast, a weekly video game podcast even, brought to you by the team at Casual Game Content. I am, as usual, Phil Keogh, but I am joined, as you can see if you're here with us on YouTube, and I do encourage you to join us there, by three of my closest individuals. People I would not want to be here this week without. Starting, of course, with the effervescent Shane Bowe. Hello, Shane.
Hello.
Moving swiftly on to the CGC Badger, we have Aaron Thompson. Hello, Aaron.
Hello.
And of course we are joined by the wonderful Kerri, and thank you, Kerri Corrigan, for coming back. I'm glad we didn't scare you off last week.
Not quite. Maybe this week. You never know. We'll find out.
We'll never say never. But if you have never been here before, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to what is by far the most casual of gaming podcasts in the known universe. A casual gamecast, if you will. And if you have been here before, welcome back, because we've got a great show for you guys this week. Because as per usual, we are going to talk things up, catch up on our weeks. What have we been playing? What have we been watching? Before taking a quick break, and we are going to jump into the meat and potatoes of this week's podcast, ladies and gentlemen, which of course is that this week we have had a Sony State of Play. Yes, Sony have finally opened up their doors and let us know what's coming. Probably not this holiday season, but what's coming in the years to come. So a lot of interesting stuff to look at there. We'll see what we all thought of it. But did we all watch the Sony State of Play?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We've got a full house, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming at you like Cleopatra. Right, so before we go any further, I need to take a deep breath, because I did this intro twice because I messed it up the first time. But I have to know, guys, how has the week been? Kerri, I'm going to go straight to you, because this is your second time with us and we are absolutely ecstatic that you're back with us again. How has your week been?
My week has been terribly exciting. I went for an eye test on Sunday and found out that my eyesight has got worse, and I ordered myself some new spanky glasses, so that's exciting, right? That
is
is something exciting.
Okay, I feel bad for laughing. You said your eyesight's gotten worse?
It has. Well, relatively. It's got worse. It's got worse in the last 3 years, so I just need a slightly stronger prescription. Okay. But aside from that, I have had 2 days off from work this week, so I've just been chilling.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Glasses are a funny thing. If not, Aaron, do you wear glasses? Have I seen you with glasses in the past?
I do, but only for looking at screens. I should be wearing them now, but it's just been so long that I'm like,
Yeah. Because me and Shane are constantly goggled. It seems.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never used to wear them when we were teenagers, and neither did I.
So I got I was going to say diagnosed with a need for glasses. That sounds wrong. Diagnosed with a need for glasses.
I'm sorry to tell you, Shane, you are blind.
Yeah, it is kind of a diagnosis, I suppose. But anyway, when I was 16, got an eye test, needed glasses, picked out a pair of glasses, and after a week, I was I picked out the wrong pair of glasses. I hate these.
No.
These are just really rotten, and I just never wore them. And then my eyesight started getting worse, and then when I was going back to study and stuff like that, I was noticing, looking at whiteboards and stuff like that. I was right, I'm getting headaches and stuff. I really need to sort out some spectacles.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a case of I don't need to be wearing them all the time. Mm-hmm. But if I don't, I won't. If they're not on my face, I will leave the house without them, or I will go to work without them, and then I'll come home with a splitting headache or something because I didn't have my glasses. So I just wear them all the time.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you don't need glasses all the time, you wear them all the time, then when you take them off, you're missing something, it's your body feels it. My eyesight is actually not any worse or not any better than since I was a child. I spent my entire teenage years, I don't think you will have ever seen me with glasses on when we knew each other back in Portleash. No. But I'm no worse off, because these glasses, they correct a slight in my eyeball. It's just born with deformities of the eyeball,
Right.
So essentially it just puts that back into place. But yeah, I can still see. Just don't tell me to read what's on the chipper menu from a distance. That's kind of where I have to draw the line. But Kerri, you ordered new glasses, and I do hope that, unlike Shane, you are happy with your glasses.
Me too.
Aaron, what about you, man? Have you been lurking around the aisles of Lidl?
Not this week. Not this week. I haven't really left the house. Work is about all I've really been up to. It's been 2.5 weeks of silence in work with the job that I do. I essentially depend on another department to do work first before I can do mine. So like if they have nothing to release, I've nothing to do. It's just the way it works. And so for the past 2.5 weeks they were like, oh no, nothing really to give you. And then this week they just went, oh, by the way, seeing as like 1/3 of your team is gone and you're all desperate for hours and you don't have enough facility to do work, here's like 6 releases at the same time. Enjoy.
Nice.
So that's been fun. It's been so I've just been flat out doing that. I have one down anyway. I'm getting through them. I'm slowly clawing my way through the I guess ending scene of Shawshank Redemption that is my current state of workload.
Wow.
That's a great metaphor.
Yeah.
Crawling through the pipe, I see.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm almost there. I am covered in as much filth and dirt and smelly things. But yeah, we're almost there. So that's kind of been my week, has been flat out staring at a laptop. Getting headaches because I haven't been wearing my glasses. So
there we go. Next week, guys, we have to have all 4 of us glasses on. It's for your health. But thank you for the catch up, Aaron, and thank you for the mental image of you in that pipe. Shane, I need to know, what have you been up to this week?
So my week has been absolutely dull and boring.
Okay, so you brought something to the table, I'm sure.
I was going to say yes.
Hey!
I said, if people remember, Phil made a rule that if your week has been dull and boring, which mine is quite regularly because I'm not that exciting.
Me too.
We have to bring something to the table. So I am bringing something to the table. I am bringing you the story. I'm bringing you the story of a lady named Marion Stokes.
Okay, I'm familiar, but go ahead.
So Marion Stokes is a lady who is from Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. Now since deceased, she died in 2012. But from the year 1977,
yes,
up until her death in 2012, she recorded whatever she could off the TV constantly, which amassed a collection of 71,000 VHS and Betamax tapes.
Yes.
Lovely.
And as a result of this, she is now considered like the kind of top tier archivist of that era of television. Like a lot of that stuff was never archived. It was just like, it went out on the TV and then it was lost to the annals of time.
Yeah.
So like this lady basically created the greatest archive of that period of television that exists. Like they're still currently in the process of digitizing all her tapes.
Yeah, and that's a whole thing in itself to now go through those tapes, you know?
Yeah, yeah. She had like 8 VHS and Betamax things running all day. And like every tape is up to 8 hours in some cases. And like she even had her husband and kids involved, and like the minute a tape ended, you got to change it to the next tape.
Oh my god.
And recording like Fox, NBC, CNBC, all these channels, news and sitcoms and like everything and anything.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's my thing this week because nothing interesting happened to me.
Okay. First of all, I thank you. Second of all, I had heard of that before just through, I think it was like Stuff You Should Know or some podcast, had to came up. But third of all, wow. Like, she's a special kind of weirdo, wasn't she?
Yes.
Like in a great way. Like it ended up being really beneficial for like TV and stuff, but like 8 or 9 video things going at once all day every day, like nobody asked her to do this. It's kind of like, wow, you are one of those like weirdos that really ends up making something good.
It says here that part of her occupation over the years was as a television producer.
So that explains it a bit. So
maybe she's seen that all this stuff was just disappearing into the ether and that nobody was was tracking it, so she decided to go mad and do
That's
all
fair.
this record. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fair.
What an absolute weapon of a woman.
Absolute.
I love her. The other thing, like, to remember is, especially now that like nostalgia gets like repackaged and sold back, that's like every single music video in about 20 years is probably going to use her footage just somewhere dotted around.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
that's going to become a whole new art form in itself. Like, you know, the way they take like old samples for music. There's definitely going to be a thing now where it's just going to be a whole like visual culture to just take those VHS tapes from the 90s, you know, repackage them, re-edit them, most likely throwing some anime intro in the background, you know. And I'm excited.
Okay, so I know we need to move on, but just like
No.
this woman was impressive. So there's more to this story. Since like the inception of Apple, the brand,
Okay.
like iPhones and Macintosh or whatever,
I'm familiar with their work, yes.
she also purchased like Macintosh computers as they released, and she stored them in climate controlled like storage units for posterity.
Jesus.
Kept them sealed, unopened, and apparently the collection sold after her death anonymously on eBay, with it being like the most one of a kind, like pure preserved not opened collection of Apple products. She also invested heavily in Apple stock before Apple ever hit it big, so like her and her in-laws and stuff are like super rich because of her, like her foresight in what Apple was going to become.
That is nuts. Go Marion.
I have a feeling all you have just done, Shane, is described a time traveler to me. She knew.
Yeah,
Possibly.
yeah.
She knew.
She knew to buy that book of betting results that Biff Cannon ended up with in Back to the Future.
Yeah, either that or she had a severe hoarding problem, because she also accumulated somewhere between 30 and 40,000 books, and she received 6 newspapers a day and 100 to 150 monthly like magazines and periodicals, and
That's a hoarder. That is a hoarder right there. There's eccentric and then there's hoarding. But look, at least something good came out of it. My own dad is a bit of a hoarder, and trust me, nothing good's coming out of that situation. So, you know, at least she's doing something positive. But, Shane, thank you. That has been a most enlightening, weird thing to bring to the table this week. I hope I know something weird. I have great respect for this lady, but you have to admit that that's not normal behavior. That's like, that is crazy, but in the best possible way. So myself, I had an interesting turn of events during the week. It was, let me set the scene for you, okay? There I am, sitting on the couch. It is approximately 8:30 at night, okay? I am playing Mario Kart on the Switch, okay? Then, on the TV. Then, next thing, disaster! Power out. All power out. Alarms going off. Stuff is going crazy. People are shouting at each other. I thought the apocalypse was happening. I thought this was a Cloverfield situation. I look outside my front window in my cul-de-sac. All the lights are off. I go out onto my stoop. Everybody's out on their stoop. And then I go out onto the road. The road is off. Like, the street lights are off. The whole grid in our area just went bang, gone. And it was so bizarre because, you know, normally you don't care. Normally you light a candle and you'll move on and hope to God it's, you know, it was late at night. I could have slept and, you know, woke up the next morning. If there wasn't like 4 house alarms going off with the failsafe of having no power, you know. So there were just like this intense screeching thing was going on. So what ended up happening was I darted across my cul-de-sac to like the house directly across from me is an 84-year-old woman who I'm quite friendly with, and I just like went over straight away, just like, are you okay, what's going on, have you got candles, have you got milk, you know. And then came back. We then just hung out on our stoop for like an hour and a half chatting to the neighbors we've never spoke to, but this event brought us together, having ice creams in case the freezer didn't come back on. And then at about 11:30, bang, it all just came back, and no explanation as to what may have caused this. That's why I want to pose it to the group here. Do we think that was just scheduled maintenance, or do we think something nefarious is after happening, like some alien creatures after landing here somewhere in Cork?
Yeah, it was the Passover devil. They specifically go for Cork.
The Passover devil.
Yeah.
Explain.
I just pulled words out of the back of my skull, and now I've been forced into a corner. But you know what, Phil? I'm up for the challenge. The Passover devil at the end of the Bible, not the regular Bible, the Cork Bible specifically states.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the same as the regular Bible. It's just every sentence ends in the word boy.
By.
Yeah. And
like,
the Passover devil floats by every now and again, and It only happens whenever there is a big GAA competition in the area, which apparently there was, and they try stop the devil. This Passover devil tries to stop people from entering the GAA competition by forcing them to eat ice creams because I think their freezers are failing, and so they all get brain freeze and they can't compete in the GAA match. And you fell for it, Phil. I'm sorry. You've been a victim of a crime here, and I feel bad for you.
Well, you've certainly put me up against the wall here, Aaron.
Yeah. Now, Phil,
The
try
Passover
prove me
demon.
wrong.
The Passover devil, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. I think, though, if you had told that story any longer, Aaron, I think our Shane might have exploded. I've just been watching. he was electric throughout that entire tale. He won't sleep tonight, Aaron. That's on you. That's on you.
Yeah.
I was just sitting here listening, going like, can he do it? Can he actually get to the end of this little paragraph here that he's after signing himself up to without falling apart? And he did it, and congratulations.
I am sweating right now.
Well, if we hadn't scared off Kerri last week, maybe this was it. Okay, guys, that has been enough about what we've been doing this week. I think we can probably move on. So, with all that being said, let's play our brand new stinger that I don't think made it into our video last week. So if you're watching this on the YouTube again this week, you know what I'm talking about. But it did make it into the audio, and I have to give Aaron props for pulling that off at the last second. But with all that being said, play that thing.
Alright, stranger. What are you playing?
So, folks, because we played that thing, that means I have to know what have we been playing. And I'll start this week because I have not really been playing anything new and exciting. I said it last week that we have started streaming Horizon Zero Dawn over on the Twitch channel. Still playing that, still really liking that. Still surprised how well it plays on PS5. It's right up there with Ghost of Tsushima. I actually think I prefer it, if I'm honest. It barely edges it out for me. But the one interesting thing there is we have moved from Twitch to YouTube streaming. Anybody who is unfamiliar with Twitch, that's why. You know, like I think there's a whole idea out there that, like, you know, if you want to watch a stream, you go to Twitch. If you want to watch a video, you go to YouTube. And if you want like audio, you go to Spotify. You know what I'm saying. But I think things are changing, and I think that YouTube is getting better and better at this type of thing. And also, our YouTube channel needs subscribers. If you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed to Casual Game Content, please do. We desperately need the subs. But if we're going to be streaming, I didn't see the point in having like a Twitch audience and a YouTube audience and then trying to maintain both. It just made more sense to do everything in one place and have more content as a result on our channel. So, you know, it is what it is. But if you want to catch up with any of our streams, do follow Casual Game Content on YouTube. It actually has a better system for queuing up streams too. So if you are interested, just subscribe and you'll get a notification when I say that I'm going to be here at this time, and it'll all be localized to your area. Beautiful stuff. But that's what I've been playing this week, ladies and gentlemen. Shane, have you been playing anything interesting?
I have. For those of you with excellent memories and can remember a whole week ago.
You're asking a lot now.
I really am, I know, but bear with me here. I think we can do it. I think together we can figure this out.
Okay.
So, last week I told you I took possession of Hades.
Yes, through some kind of like armed robbery, if I remember correctly.
I did. I basically murdered my friend and stole his game.
Jesus, this is getting dark. Between the Passover devil and this.
Gaming's getting expensive. I mean, it's an expensive hobby, and I got to get my game somehow. Got to get that fixed.
And you picked this €20 game to kill your friend over.
I had to start somewhere, you know. You got to start small and then work your way up to the
Work
more
your way
expensive
up.
games.
Yeah.
Soon I'll be killing whole families for like the new Call of Duty or something.
Anyway, so you're playing Hades.
Yeah. yes, I am. Yeah, I started playing Hades, and it's super awesome. It's super fun. I love the art style. I love the gameplay. I love the music. I love the writing. It's super witty, like really witty.
Yes.
I didn't expect it to be so fun.
Yes.
I was kind of looking, even though the art style is really cool and kind of fun, the subject matter, like the Greek gods and stuff like that, I thought it might be a little bit more serious. Maybe I was thinking too much like God of War or something, you know, where it's like, you know, that kind of thing.
Sure.
But yeah, it's super fun, I love Skelly. Skelly's my dude.
He's good,
like,
yeah.
Whoever thought to make him like give him like a New York accent or whatever, it was just that guy needs to get raised at work, you know.
We'll let them know.
But I like it, and like we know, like with the likes of Returnal, I've had a little trouble with some roguelites in the past. But I find that Hades actually like is really good at getting you better every time and helping you power up and helping you get that little bit stronger for your next run.
Yes, it is. And that's where I was hesitant to go too deeply into it last week, because like Returnal is quite unforgiving in that way. It's very like you just die and you come back and it's just figure it out again, you know?
Yeah.
Hades is very much it guides you a lot, you know, and some people hate that. Some people absolutely hate the fact that you can't get like all of your abilities on the first run, you know? Like it's really like you die and die and die and die, and every time you die you unlock something new, or you've figured out something new, or it's really good at that. So I think on repeat playthroughs Hades will probably be a bit of a chore, you know, but on that first playthrough, like, it's great. It really is great. How far have you gotten?
I have made it as far as Elysium.
Yes.
But I haven't got to the boss of Elysium.
Gotcha. That's a challenging one. That's where I left off when Ghost of Tsushima came, so like I don't know how I'm going to get past that one. It's been so long. But I do look forward to getting back to it. Aaron or Kerri, have you guys any experience with Hades, or is that on your radar at all?
I played it a good bit, yeah. I've very much enjoyed Hades. It's definitely one of those like, Hades or games like that. I definitely treat as like my sort of in between sort of. I've nothing else to do. Waste a couple of hours, Joe. It's very easy. Just you switch on, and 2 seconds later you're into the guts of the gameplay. So yeah, no, I do. I love it now. I agree with everything Shane was saying. The art style is lovely. The gameplay is even better. The music it's just a good game. Yeah,
Housemarque really have nailed their style, haven't they? Like that really does deserve to be up there when they were talking about Game of the Year last year. Like it is just that damn good. Like, you know, you can't argue with it really once you play it, even if it's not a game that you like. You know, you can see why. You know. Did you play that when it was in early access, Aaron, or did you play it on release when it came out last year?
No, I played it very late. I only started playing it about 2-3 months ago.
Ah, same as myself.
Yeah, so we both got into it at the same time. I need to play it more, because I think at the time I was playing it, what came out about 2-3 months ago? I was playing something got in the way.
The Passover.
Clearly. Oh, that's exactly what it was. 100%. I was running from him. Yeah, something came out. It distracted me from it. And clearly it wasn't a very good game because I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But I need to play more Hades. Hades is something I need to play more of. While I played it on PC, and I don't think PC is probably the best place to play it, I'd love to play it on Switch. I think that just seems like the right place to play it. Because as I said, it's one of those perfect like, I have the ability to play a game now. Out comes the Switch.
Yeah. It's been highly recommended on Switch. Yeah. I own it on Switch. I played it on Xbox, and I wasn't unhappy by that because it's lovely in 4K and whatnot. But I do see the appeal. And Kerri, it's not really your type of. It's not your cup of tea.
No. I wish I could add something further to it, but it's just not my kind of game, unfortunately.
That's fair enough. No Space Wizards.
No Space Wizards. Not yet. Maybe in the future. Who knows?
Maybe. But that is that. Thank you, Shane. Thank you. I do want to hear more weekly updates on where you end up with that game, because I do want to see, is this the game that like makes you punch through your roguelike? I don't know. Maybe it was just Returnal, but it seemed as if you didn't quite have that love for the roguelike when you were playing that one.
The most I've ever put into a roguelike previous is Rogue Legacy, and I played it on Vita, and I used to play it on the bus like in first year of college, going to college back and forth. And I put a lot of time into that, I think because it was a good distraction on the bus, but I also enjoyed the humor of that every time you died you respawned as one of your ancestors, and you could get like weird quirks like ADHD or like dyslexia, and you couldn't like read what the people were saying to you and stuff. And that, but I never finished it either.
Yeah, Rogue Legacy is amazing. I don't think anyone's finished it, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough little game.
It's a tough little game. That only leaves Aaron and Kerri. I'm going to go to Kerri first. Kerri, have you been playing anything interesting this week?
So still still Destiny. But I also got Alien Fireteam Elite. I haven't played too much of it, but so far I can't say it's amazing. Like, from the trailer it looked amazing and I was so excited and I couldn't wait to get it, but the actual gameplay, it just feels clunky, and I've been playing it on my own, so that could be the reason. Maybe if you're playing with other people, it's a much better game.
Sure.
But when I'm used to playing something like Destiny that's quick, it just, so far it's not for me, but I'll keep going and we'll see where we end up, but I can't rave about it.
Gotcha.
Right now.
So, like, I have a couple of questions. Like, the first is, are you an Alien fan in general? Like, what was it that got you so hyped in the first place?
Yeah, so I didn't play Isolation, but I am a lover of the actual movies, and from the trailer of Alien, it looked much more like my style of gaming.
Yes, yeah.
And there are fun parts to it, and it looks like it could evolve into something a little bit better the more you play. But as I said last week, if a game doesn't grip me within the first kind of hour, I really struggle to then keep going with it. But because so many people have said it's brilliant, you know, keep going, I will. But right now my hopes aren't very high, unfortunately, because I was really excited about it.
Yeah, that is fair, because like it is I don't think it's a live service game, this one, from what I understand, but it has all those trappings, and it's kind of like a third person Left 4 Dead, which I know you're into.
Yeah, I mean, you can matchmake, so you can, when you start up your first mission, you can choose to matchmake with two random people or use AIs, which is what I did. And as I said, I think it would be much more fun if you were playing with other people, because it can get a bit jumpy and scary.
Sure.
But on first playthrough, I always like to go through it on my own, and it felt slow and clunky, and maybe that's because I haven't got upgrades and stuff, and you can choose different classes. But yeah, as I said, right now it's meh.
Yeah, not grabbing you.
No.
My biggest problem with every Alien game, with exception to Isolation, which I love, is, and I'm an Alien fan as well. Actually, I only just watched 3 and 4 the other week for the first time, but I love the first two, especially the first one. But my problem with Alien games is they don't understand the appeal of Alien, which is like the horror aspect of it all, you know, which is like, that's why the first movie's so good. You know, it's just, I don't need to see the alien that much. In fact, that takes away from it, and I just need to know it's there, you know. And then from what I've seen with this Alien Fireteam, Elite, whatever it's called, it seems as if like every mission is like kill 400 aliens, and they're like one-shot kills, and it's kind of like, these don't seem threatening. I don't see why I'd be afraid of these things.
Yeah, no, it's not particularly difficult. You know, I started it on normal or whatever it's meant to be at, and it wasn't particularly difficult. So maybe if you upped the difficulty, you would get more out of it. But as you said, it's not a particularly scary game either, which I was hoping for, because I really like spooky games. And there are parts where you're like, what was that? But you get to see the alien almost instantly, so any kind of little bit of fear you had, you're just like, oh, that's a tiny little alien that I killed with one shot.
Gotcha.
That was pointless.
What would we have to do to get you to stream Alien Isolation, since you've never played it?
I don't know. Is it scary? I haven't.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say you should jump on Isolation. You just said that you like spooky games and you really like the Alien franchise. You should definitely jump on Isolation.
Yeah, it's super good. It's super scary too.
I think, no, that's a lie. I think I did actually play it for a very short period of time, like just the start of it, but the sensitivity was so high that I was actually getting motion sickness. So maybe I have to figure out how to sort that out, and I'll jump back into it and give you an update.
I really, really, really would love to see that.
I'll keep you posted.
Old friend of the show, Paul Mason, as well. He only jumped on it last year or the year before, and I was absolutely enamored just talking to him, going like, and what did you think of this, and what did you think of this? So I look forward to those conversations. But that has been awesome. Thank you, Kerri. Aaron, have you been playing anything this week, or still knees deep in Humankind?
Just about. I've been playing a good bit of Humankind. I did venture into a second game, not a new game, but a second game that I've been playing, and it's also one of my probably favorite games of the last while. Also a very, very scary game. It's Planet Zoo.
Oh, super scary. Those koalas.
Yeah, I just giraffes just freak me the fuck out. But yeah, I don't know. It's just honestly the Planet series between Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo, without a doubt, the best like 3D building mechanics. Just exactly what you just press X and you can place it anywhere. It's not, most places are like, oh, grid, or here's like a box you build and maybe make. It's just not anything. Like your entire part, you could make a building that's like thousands, tens of thousands of square feet if you want. It very much is just open building freedom, and I love it.
Awesome.
I wish I could say more. There's very few. It's hard to give like a new take on Planet Zoo other than, I like animals. I like building their enclosures and then just looking at them.
Any badgers?
No badgers yet. Couple of pandas, close enough. Red pandas. Maybe if you combine the two.
Yeah. They're like Chinese raccoon badgers. I don't know.
That's not a reach. That's exactly what they are. They're Chinese raccoon badgers.
Can I just pause on the red panda for a second? Holy crap, are they cute?
Oh my god!
I went to Foda Wildlife Park over the lockdown, and seeing my first one, with my own eyes, let's say, right in front of me, like, holy crap, look at it. I will go to prison because I need to bring this home with me right now. This thing is amazing.
They are incredible. I love them. And I make sure that they have the best habitat in the zoo.
There we go. Official animal of the CGC team. It has been confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen it here first. But that has been what we've been playing this week. I think for once, we always threaten to do it, and we haven't done it in a long time. Will we take like 10 minutes to just blast through what we've been watching this week?
Let's do it.
Okay, Aaron, you're going to have to maybe come up with another thing.
Oh, no, I've been watching stuff. I started a new show this week.
I meant another stinger, but we'll get to that.
Oh, stinger, yeah, okay, sorry. I thought you meant like I just make up what I watch or play. I sit in that corner for 7 days of the week, and every hour once a week I just come here and just make stuff up. My name's not Aaron.
Oh my god, it's the Passover devil, of course. But no. If we have a stinger, play that thing, and if we don't, we don't. Moving on. So what have we been watching? I wanted to just talk very quickly about What If. Has anybody been watching the Marvel What If things that have been coming out?
No.
I watched one episode, the first episode, and just haven't got back to it yet.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be everybody's thing, and I don't think they're necessarily my thing, but I'm intrigued by each premise. So like, What If is essentially just, what if the movies you're familiar with and then something happens, So like, what if Peggy Carter became Captain America, instead of Captain America, essentially? And what if zombies was the latest one, whereas it's like, what if all the Avengers were zombies but they could still use their powers, and it's like these types of scenarios. And I have to say, they're swinging for the hills a lot. Like, their animation is top notch. I'll give them that. Some of their stories, it's like, I wish that they were like an hour and a half long, these things, because they honestly, the premise is interesting, but you don't get enough time to really explore it. So like, you're just running from action scene to action scene for 40 minutes and then it's over. And whilst you're not disappointed you watched them, I do think that season 2, if they do a season 2, needs to be like longer, Yeah,
it kind of sounds like they don't explore the ramifications of the what if. It's like, what if Peggy Carter was Captain America, and then it's just Peggy Carter in Captain America's outfit kicking people in the face or whatever.
Kind of, yeah.
Instead of exploring the ramifications of what happens when it's a completely different person and how it affects them in their life or the world, or the fact that maybe she's female would have a different bearing on how people perceive her in the society we live in, and it seems like they just don't do any of that because it is a cartoon at the end of the day.
Oh no, they do that. They do that. Like
Oh.
like even in like there's a whole like gender inequality angle to that episode where like Peggy is kicking ass clearly and people are holding her back, and it's only when she proves herself all of a sudden everyone's her best friend. It's very much like these are the struggles of women. I would assume, Kerri. I'm not I'm not here flying the flag from experience, but
Kerri, you're Captain America.
You're Captain America, right?
Feel about
I
it?
often kick everyone's ass and no one thinks much of me.
That's not true. We think very much of you here. But yeah, no, they do that, but they have such a short time that they have to fit everything else into, and it does feel like it falls a little bit flat overall. But it does look like they left it at a cliffhanger, and I believe that they've talked about coming back to that story as well as other ones. So I think like season 2 is going to pick up from a lot of stories, so you will see more. It's just going to be doled out over next year or two, but like. Yeah, it's worth a watch. It's definitely, it's not up there with like WandaVision or anything, but it's worth a watch.
Yeah. I wonder if any of it is like, will they get metrics on kind of the most viewed episodes and maybe think about developing those into their own series?
Oh yeah, like if one of those episodes in particular did incredibly well, you better believe it. Like yeah,
there's going to be like the Peggy Carter animated series, or whatever,
I'd say that's
something
the
like
strongest contender. I'd say Peggy Carter's alternate thing, like. They're talking about multiverse stuff now where like anything's bloody possible now, so like yeah, they could totally hire her to be in one of these multiverse movies to show up for half an hour and kick some ass and go again, like that could totally happen.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Does.
I might give it a watch. It sounds like something I could watch when I'm like having a sandwich on my lunch at home here or something. Just flick it on, kind of background noise.
Yes, I've been eating my dinner with it. It plays. Aaron, have you been watching anything this week?
I have. I started a new show for the first time in a while.
Ooh.
I started watching Ozark.
Oh, that's
I
brilliant.
love
That's a great show.
Yeah, I finished season 1 there 2 days ago. I'm only starting season 2. Halfway through season 2 episode, because I know we're in the age of binge watching. It's not much for me, mostly because my ADHD-riddled brain just forgets to watch TV until I'm lying in bed and going, well, let's forget to sleep and just distract ourselves with something else instead.
Sure.
So I've been just watching that in bed. Honestly, can say first time in a long while I've seen a character in a TV show that's genuinely intelligent, like genuinely smart, and things just aren't working out well. Someone that can read a situation well. The dialogue's incredible. Shots are unbelievable. I love Ozark, and apparently it only gets better, so I'm very much looking forward to
the
it.
cinematography and the backdrop of that area, the Ozarks in general, is just phenomenal. And were you talking about Jason Bateman when you meant like the intelligent character?
Sorry, yeah, forgot that, like, I just never said that out loud. Jason Bateman's character, like even from just the get-go, I won't spoil much, but there is a scene where he comes into a confrontation over a bunch of money, and the way that scene, the threat and the breakdown of the situation that keeps getting thrown back and forth as he says, well, you actually can't do that because then this happens, and at no point does it come across forced or does it come across even like it's written. It just seems like a genuinely intelligent chap just in that situation, just breaking it down, knowing what to do. I don't know. I'm very happy because a lot of times I find, especially when it comes to like shows about cartels and drugs, it tends to just devolve into like, well, I'm in the cartel and I'm evil and things just go my way because that's convenient for the show. Things actually happen in Ozark, and I'm very happy watching it.
Your soliloquies are on point tonight, Aaron, I have to say.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a great show. It's a great show. And we can wax poetic about Ozark all night long, and trust me, I want to. But I do know we are running on. So I will move around the table because I know Bowe is ecstatic to share an update with us. But before we do that, Kerri, have you been watching anything of note this week?
I have recently started watching something that I think most people watched years ago. But I have just gotten into Breaking Bad.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And
I'm so jealous.
And this is actually to do with Ozark, but people hyped Ozark up to me so much. I watched the first season, didn't like it at all.
Oh god.
So everyone was recommending Breaking Bad, and I just thought, no, I'm not gonna watch this. It's overhyped, and within halfway through the episode, I was absolutely hooked.
That's a really strong first episode as well. Yeah.
I am thoroughly enjoying watching that, and actually everybody is saying to me, God, I wish I was watching that for the first time. So I'm excited to see the rest of it now.
Yeah, that is such a good show. Like that really is up there with Sopranos and the top shows for me, for sure. It hasn't been diminished. I will give you one tip though, and feel free to ignore it. When you get to the end of the series, I think it's okay to walk away from Breaking Bad at that point. I don't know how much that Netflix movie that came out really adds to it.
Okay.
With Aaron Paul doing his thing after the fact. I don't know. Maybe everybody else here thinks it was worthwhile, but personally, I watched it and went, I was happier not knowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm assuming you mean El
Yes.
Camino. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't upset about it. I didn't go, now it wasn't like
closure.
Thank God that happened. But I wasn't like, take it away, scrap it, get rid of it. It was how do you describe it? It was just I'm happy it happened. I'm happy it happened, but maybe leaving it up to the possibility of your mind might have been a better option. But that doesn't happen when you can make Netflix money.
No, it is not. But with that being said, speaking of making them Benjamins, I know that Shane has been watching a show that has been making Benjamins for many years, and I know it has been getting him very, very excited. I can see it. He's palpable. He's jumping up and down. People are looking at him on YouTube know that I'm lying.
Hey, look, I don't like to jump up. I don't like to make too much commotion in case it affects the sound quality for our beautiful listeners'
Don't
ears.
spook
Thank
Aaron.
you.
Just don't spook Aaron, whatever you do.
I'm watching.
So, it is time for Shane's MasterChef Australia update, 'cause it's been a while. Another sting for Aaron to make. I know, I'm messing.
And you as well.
Yeah.
They're video related now.
Damn, I'm making work for myself. So ignore that. Scrap that. That never happened.
Never happened. Move on.
So we're into MasterChef starts out with 26 contestants or something at the start of the season. Mm-hmm. So we're into the final 12 now. We're into squeaky bum time. The best of the best are left. People are being sent home because their dish is not 10 out of 10. It's 9 out of 10. It's that's not good enough. Get out of here. You're gone.
Sure.
So this is where it gets really intense because people are cooking their heart and soul out, and like I said, they're putting up a dish that's a 9 out of 10, and it's no, get out of here. You're useless. You're the worst chef in existence. Be gone, because you got to have that reality TV drama. But I am loving it right now. Final 10, final 12, whatever it's in at the moment is that's where the show really lights up. It really gets going, and I am loving it.
Gotcha. You do be fond of some TV cookings.
I do. I really do. I do love it.
You do love it, and I'm getting there with you. I don't know if I'd like MasterChef. I think MasterChef is too intense for me. As I said before, I like Bake Off and stuff where it's I just want to get to love the old woman who's the contestant or whatever. I don't care if they're Michelin star level.
I'll tell you now, MasterChef Australia is the one I'm watching specifically. Mm-hmm. And that is not too bad. The American MasterChef is Gordon Ramsay screaming at you, calling you a donkey, going you have 10 seconds left. Where's your 30 steaks that you're supposed to be cooking?
Yeah.
That's the American one. Australian one has a little bit of pressure with the clock, and they have to do it in a certain time, but it's not as harsh or as screamy panic.
Yeah,
oh my god, everything needs to be done. And the people who are on it are a little more endearing because they're not crazy American people who have some crazy mad backstory for why they're on MasterChef.
Yeah. The only time I like Gordon Ramsay is on that show where he goes to their restaurants and almost punches them for like, you know, having dirty
Kitchen
kitchens.
nightmares.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love Kitchen
I love
Nightmares.
it.
That's pretty good stuff. But before we go down the Ramsey Cast road, how about we take a break, we remind people about our socials, play a very quick ad, and then we're going to come back into what I said was the meat and potatoes of this very podcast, where we're going to break down the September 2021 Sony State of Play. I think it's going to be a good one, and you're going to have to stick around to find out. So before any further ado, play that thing. Hey there! If you want to keep up with all things casual game content, you can do so in a number of ways. The easiest way to do so is to follow us on all of our socials at Casual Game Co. Not content, because you only get 15 characters, but hey, what can you do? At Casual Game Co. That's at CASUALGAMECO. Can't be any simpler than that. On Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And when you're at Facebook, look for the group, the Casual Game Community. It's a good bunch. We're going to love you. Come on by. If you could do us a massive favor, like the podcast, review the podcast, and just tell a friend about the podcast. It goes a long way, and you can find all of our content on podcast forums wherever you get your podcasts by searching for Casual Game Cast. Thanks again for all of your help and all of your support. It means the absolute world to us. Now, back to the show. And now, folks, we are back. So, as I promised, we are going to get into what happened this week at the Sony State of Play. And quite a bit, actually. As I suspected, this was not going to be the showcase where they turn around and say, oh, you thought we had nothing coming out this Christmas. Well, you were wrong. This is dropping next week, and this is dropping next month, and this... That didn't happen. That did not happen at all. However, we got some pretty exciting, I would say, for the industry, news and tidbits of stuff that we are going to be playing for years to come. And honestly, I'm okay with that. It was entertaining. There was a moment of clarity when I was watching this presentation where I've been on Team Xbox for the last year. It's not been a big secret, but I have been playing my PlayStation 5 more since I've got it. And when I watched this State of Play, I did find myself thinking, this is why I really like Sony. These titles, like they're showing me, they look like fun. They're taking my breath away in some cases. So, the boys done good. But let's jump into what we saw. I'm not going to go through everything. Let's just hit the games, okay? Let's just do the important stuff here. Let's do the Lord's work and talk about the games. So, with that being said, first thing that was shown, unless I'm mistaken, was a teaser for Knights of the Old Republic Remastered.
Yep, you are correct, sir. And a PlayStation, well, not PlayStation, well, console exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah, it said specifically at the end of the trailer, developed for PlayStation 5, which is interesting because that was an Xbox game.
Yes, it was an Xbox exclusive. It's coming to PC as well, of course. But it's being made as an Xbox or PlayStation exclusive this time around for the remake. How they swung that, I don't know.
Money, but, I imagine.
I suppose, yeah.
That and the fact that I imagined that the ink probably wasn't even dry by the time that trailer came out.
Yeah, true. It's very last minute. Like there was rumors floating around of ages for an Old Republic remake. We reported on it on this show actually, and now we have 100% confirmation. But the fact that it's PlayStation exclusive, I found to be mad.
Yeah, they knew the value of that IP, That is that. Unless anybody else has thoughts on newer Knights of the Old Republic. Okay, moving on. So we then had Jim Ryan, I believe, talking to us about all of the new tasty exclusives we're going to see. But what was the next game we saw? Oh yes, the one. You know that game, not Bayonetta?
Oh yeah. Devil May Bayonetta Cry.
Devil May Bayonetta Cry E project.
Final Fantasy 7 remake reskinned.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. That's the token Japanese kind of abusively over-sexualized character action game, which is, I believe, I'm struggling to think of the name, Project Eve. This, for anybody that didn't watch it, is think Bayonetta but somehow more sexualized. Whereas Bayonetta has the charm to pull it off. This very much did not. But it does look like it's graphically quite impressive.
Yeah, it looks graphically impressive, and I don't know if I'll play it, but I am crying out for some hack and slash, like, you know, in the vein of Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, that kind of thing. I'm crying out for something in that area.
Sure.
But this is kind of offensively anime to me.
Yeah,
and
it is a bit.
I'm just not about that at all.
Yeah.
I won't mind it. I mean, as for now, I don't have a PS5. If I did have one, this game needs to do something different. I saw nothing new in the trailer. Like, even the designs, I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw that like 2 console generations ago. So if it does something new and interesting, like you can feel the weight of your sword in the controller or whatever it wants to do, then maybe it'd be worth a purchase. But yeah.
Very specific wants and needs, but we love you for them.
Yeah.
Kerri, what did you think when you saw this one? I'm always interested, like, obviously, you know, straight white male. I'm just the most overrepresented demographic on the planet, so I'm always wondering, like, what other demographics feel like. As a lady, how did you feel when you watched this trailer? Does this type of stuff bother you at all?
Not really. I mean, I think it's just to be expected. Like, things like Genshin Impact and all of that, it's just become the norm. So it doesn't really surprise me. It doesn't offend me in any way. I think if you get offended by that kind of game, like, you bought it, so you knew what you were getting.
Sure.
But it doesn't excite me as a game. It looks pretty and it looks like it could be fun, but will I be rushing to buy it? No. But yeah, I think anything anime, you just have to expect that that's what you're gonna get.
This is true. You know, and it's not like, I guess I'm probably making too much out of it, but I'll leave it on this, is that, like, it's not so much the design of the character, and it's not so much what she's wearing or anything like that, because honestly the character design is strong, and it's not like she's naked or anything, you know, so you know, I'm not dying on that hill. It's just the anime-ness of it all, where it's just egregious, like, camera angles that are like 50% ass, and, like, you know, it's just like there was a real, like, slow prolonged vagina shot there, like, at one point, and I was kind of like, not necessary at all. Like, you know?
Also, hot take, I think if there is, like, an incoming invasion of, like, demons from the underworld, I don't think your armor needs to be spray painted on your body.
No.
Sorry.
Well, you got to be flexible.
Yeah.
How do you expect me to fight the
protected.
Passover demon without my sprayed on costume?
Is that suit made of flubber? Because that's about the only way I can imagine there's any sort of protection.
Maybe. Call Robin. Oh, wait.
Maybe.
But moving on.
Next game.
We got to look at Tiny Tina's Wonderland. That's the Borderlands D&D spin-off for all the world. Shane, did that do anything for you?
Yeah, it looks stupid, dumb, Borderlands fun, which I enjoy. I liked the D&D. I liked Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep DLC. I thought it was fun. Some people don't like Tiny Tina. I do. Okay. She entertains me. So I'm happy to. I'll spin it up with a friend or something like that. We'll do a bit of co-op. We'll have a bit of crack. It'll be stupid. It'll be dumb. There'll be, like, you know, explosions and a bajillion guns, and I'll be happy out.
Sounds good. I kind of felt like the most fun thing about that trailer was Baby Metal.
Yeah.
Do you know the song that's playing? That weird Japanese metal band?
Yeah. I love Baby Metal, but yeah, no, you're dead right. Because I was watching it and I was kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Was, do you know when, like, I felt like I was experiencing something that didn't exist. I was like, what is going on? Like, every 30 seconds. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was a strange one for me. Never got too into Borderlands or into that whole series. Yeah, it's not something for me. I was watching it and I was just kind of confused, to be honest.
Yeah. Like,
Same.
what kind of let me down a little bit was the inclusion of guns. I was kind of thinking this was going to be like Borderlands, but not with guns. You know, I thought there's going to be like a magic one, and there is magic, it seems, in it. But even at one point in the trailer, I think it says like, and why is there guns in this game, you may be asking? Well, that's a good question. Oh, there, keep shooting or whatever. And it like points, you know, fun at the fact that it's still Borderlands.
It wasn't even that. It was Tina herself. She's
Yeah.
like, you may be asking why there is guns in this game. She just goes, shut up, that's why.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. And like,
You
if you're a
know?
Borderlands fan, I'm sure that's what you want. But like, I wanted this to be something different, and it looks like it's going to be much the same.
Yeah, that's very true. I can understand that from someone who's kind of on the edges of Borderlands. But for me, I played every Borderlands. I play it usually with the same friend. We look forward to playing them together. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's another gajillion guns for me to play around with and have a bit of crack.
Kerri, Borderlands, that on your radar? That seems like something that maybe you'd pick up, considering Destiny and that, you know?
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not on my radar at all.
I'm so disappointed.
I know. I am also disappointed in myself, but no, not as of yet. It's probably in my backlog somewhere, but have I got around to it yet? No.
It is a really fun co-op game,
Yeah.
like what Shane was saying there. I love the first one in particular. Haven't really been around since, but that's not what this part of the show is about, ladies and gentlemen. What this show is about is State of Plays. And we also got another look at that weird tech demo thing that came out for Unreal Engine 5, I believe, where we seen this crazy lady like jumping, doing flips and flying around in like a desert canyon. That then later got shown as being a game called Forespoken, and we got another look at it here. At first, I thought it was Life is Strange or something. Like, it opens up with this girl on a bus or something, and, you know, she gets beaten up by her friends, and she's talking to her cat. I'm like, okay, when's the psychic power going to show itself here? And then all of a sudden, she's doing backflips in a desert. I'm like, oh, it's this game.
Yeah, I remember seeing it a long while ago. I could be completely wrong. I'm just trying to check it up now. I remember... No, I am wrong. Right, there's a very similar game, looks identical, and was made by one person. And I remember just seeing that be shared around. Like, oh, one person made this game. It's not this game.
Okay.
So ignore me. Shane, continue.
I like the look of it. I thought it looked like, much like you, I thought it was another Life is Strange style game where it's very story driven and character driven and stuff. And then like this girl gets sucked into some portal that brings her to this fantasy land, and all of a sudden she's like jumping off cliffs and shooting like fire out of her hands, and there's a talking bracelet, and I'm like, I'm sold. It looks super, pretty and stylistic, and the combat looks fluid and fun, and so does the exploration. So I'm in.
Yeah.
If that game and its movement and its combat is as fluid as it seems, that seems like a game I genuinely could play for months on end. Nothing gets me like fluid movement in a game.
You heard it here first, folks. Kerri, what about you? Do anything for you?
Yeah, I definitely think that I will buy it. It looks like a lot of fun. Same as yourself and Shane. I thought it was some kind of Life is Strange type, and I thought it was going to take a really dark turn. And then watching the movement, I just thought, I'm going to be purchasing this game in the near future.
Traversal does a lot for me as well in a game. You know, like if it looks fun to move around, that is important to me. You know, I think Spider-Man, that game, that taught me that like I can do pretty much anything in a game as long as getting from A to B is fun. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I say. Like fluid mobility in a game just locks me into it. It's just so. I mean, like the first games I ever played was like the Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, and like that was my introduction to realistically console gaming as a whole. And just ever since, I've been like, I need movement to be as fluid as that. That is my benchmark for like fluidity and movement in a game. If this beats it, okay, I'm not playing anything for a while after I buy this.
Fair enough. That is fair. But not to dwell too much on that game, we did get another look, and I'm pretty sure we saw most of it before, of Rainbow Six Extraction. Is this new Rainbow Six game on anybody's radar?
Nope.
No.
Never played it.
No, I don't think me either. It seems as if they're really missing the point with what people want to do with that franchise. Like, you know, Rainbow Six Siege is huge for good reason, and this is their follow-up. I don't get it. But moving on. So from there, we did get a look at the Alan Wake remaster. I am one of those people that's played like every game on the planet, and I've never even tried Alan Wake. I don't know why. It's just not been on my radar ever. Anybody here excited for Alan Wake Remastered?
Yeah, I liked Alan Wake a lot, and I think I'm ready to jump back in. I think it's been far enough now, because I did play it way back on the 360, like around its release, which is probably like, what, 10, 11 years ago now, maybe more.
It's a while.
So, yeah, so I think I'm ready to jump back in and have a bit of fun. And I think because it's a little bit of a spooky as well, my partner will enjoy, like, being with me when I play it, you know, watching it and getting involved and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a spooky. Does that interest you now, Kerri?
Yeah, I was watching it and I thought, oh my goodness, what is this game? And then the name came up and I thought, oh, I recognise that. I've never played it previously, but after watching that, it looks like it's right up my street. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, there we go. We'll have to follow up with you once that comes up. So, not to leave all of the remasters behind us, because we still have another one. GTA, we got a release date for GTA Remastered. It was supposed to be coming out in November, I believe. Is now coming out in March 22nd on PS5 and assumedly Xbox. They showed that trailer, and that trailer was very much like, look at our new graphics and new experiences you can have in this game. It looks the exact same as the PS4 version and the Xbox One
It looks
version.
worse. There are graphical glitches in that trailer.
Really?
There's one point where I believe Lester is sitting in a chair and the chair moves, but there's like a double of the chair that doesn't move. Like it glitches out, and there is something else. I remember watching there's a speedrunner I watched that like speedruns GTA, and so like obviously he was mad into it, and he's even given out stink about it, because he was saying like, if you look at the trailer as well, it's just it's like, improved graphics, explosive gameplay, what else did they say? I think they just said and more, and like it was
buzzwords. It was just complete buzzwords,
Yeah.
and it was completely unnecessary. I thought, like, you know, if they had shown me something though, like I played that game when it first came out and I loved it, and then I played it a second time when it came out on PS4 for first person mode, and I went, yeah, okay, that's enough to get me to play it again. When I watched that trailer, I really, really expected me to go, oh, Grand Theft Auto, what are they going to do to make me want to play that again? No interest. But we won't give it any more playtime. So moving swiftly on, Ghostwire Tokyo, we got another look at that. That game looks sick.
Yes, it does. It looks really cool. Don't really know what's going on or what it's all about.
No.
But that also kind of sells me on it, because if I can watch like 3 trailers for a game and not know what's going on or not get a gist of what you even really do gameplay wise, apart from shoot things out of your hands or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely give that a go just to see what the hell it is.
Yeah, it looks
very Kojima-y, I was gonna say, if that's what they're intending or not, but definitely has that air of like,
kind of,
you know, you're gonna pick it up and still not know what you're playing.
Yeah.
But you'll find a million reasons why you might love it. Hopefully if it's good.
even when you beat it, you have no idea what you played. Yeah, no, it looks pretty cool. The art style is pretty grabbing. I was kind of looking at some of the enemies as well, and who owns the rights for Slenderman? Because I think they are looking at this kind of going, wow, they're really robbing my property here.
When I was watching that, I thought, oh, this is a Slenderman game, and then I realized, oh no, it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, somebody has to be pulling their hair out, going, "I deserve money for this, surely." Or maybe just tall white guys in suits is common.
I'm pretty sure Slenderman is one of those like folk horror tales that nobody owns.
Yeah.
It's like Mothman Prophecies or some crap. Nobody actually owns it. There is games of Slenderman, don't get me wrong.
That is interesting.
But nobody owns Slenderman. It is one of those folk tales.
It was a creepypasta, wasn't it? Isn't that?
It's something
where it came
like
from?
that. Yeah. It's one of something like that.
Wow. So I could make a Slenderman.
Yes.
Wow. I might go after the show and make a Slenderman. Okay.
Just one. Only make one. Don't be thinking about making 2 Slender Men.
Ooh, I
Only
don't know.
one Slenderman.
I don't know, Aaron. I don't know. It's like having kids. You don't want to just have one. They'll get lonely. But with that, the new mascot behind the red panda of the CGC is now, of course, the Slenderman. Now, next game we saw was one I'm excited for, and I'm not sure why. I think I just like the property enough. Is Guardians of the Galaxy. They didn't give us like 40 minutes of gameplay, or I guess a 40-minute vertical slice is kind of what we got at E3, and it was kind of arduous to sit through. This was just like a spelt trailer, you know, and this is how they should have showed it to us in the first place. And it looked pretty entertaining. I liked what I saw.
So
yeah, I mean, sorry, Shane,
you're
go
all right.
there. You'll give a better opinion than I will.
Don't fight.
Yeah.
Don't fight. It's one of those moments where like everyone paused to wait for someone else to speak, so then we all spoke at once. So it looks like it's capturing like the Guardians of the Galaxy feel from the movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
you know?
very James Gunn.
But yeah, from what I see, like, do you only play as Star-Lord?
I believe so. I can't confirm that, but it seems as if it's like you are Star-Lord, and then you have the other guys as like AI companions who you can control, you know, like do this attack, do that, you know.
I imagine
Yeah.
so, because I think at the last event that this was showcased at, I remember one of the directors saying that the whole goal of the game was you are Star-Lord and you're commanding the team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that would make sense, yeah, that you do play him.
Yeah, you see, that makes it fall down in my eyes, because then it just turns into a third-person shooter with some, like, you know, go here mechanics, you know, which games have done before. If I could switch between them at will, and you have, like, you know, because obviously Gamora is going to be like a lot of hand-to-hand combat, so like,
Yeah.
you know, if you're sick of the third person flying around shooting, switch to Gamora, punch a few guys in the face, switch back to Star-Lord, switch to Drax, uppercut a dude's face off or whatever, you know. That sounds way more fun to me than just being Star-Lord running around with two pistols.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think though, like, the big attraction for me is just the interactions between the team. So I don't even really mind that much. Like, if I can get all of those abilities through other means, I don't really mind. But I do agree with you. It would be better if you could just, you know. But the problem is, like, Square Enix, like, we seen it with Avengers, they're not very good at making these games with many protagonists for you to play, you know. If this means that they can make a concentrated game and wrap the Marvel property around that, then I'm all for that, because that Marvel's Avengers game has too many controllable characters and they're all woeful.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because it's a different studio, like it was Crystal Dynamics
True.
did Avengers, and
True.
it's like I will probably play this, but for me it is a not day one game. You know, it's borrow from a friend or wait till there's like a sale or something.
Well, you're not going to be starving for Marvel content, let's put it that way, because we've got more to get to. So let's roll on,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Bloodhunt for PS5 is coming, baby, and that is the almost like Left 4 Dead type stuff, or maybe that's a bad way of putting it. It's like a 4v4 shooter, for lack of a better word.
Team deathmatch.
Team deathmatch, yeah. But it's set very much in the Vampires the Masquerade universe, and I think it's bizarre that we have not gotten a new Vampire the Masquerade in decades, it feels like. But yet, here we go, we're getting a shooter.
Yeah, it's a class-based multiplayer team.
It's an
deathmatch
Overwatch with
thing.
vampires, is kind of what it is,
Basically,
isn't it?
yeah, exactly. And look at the different classes. Looked interesting, and the fact that, like, you know, one class is like a Nosferatu, which is a real like demony looking vampire and all, like, you know,
What you call me?
fucked up looking. And then like there's like, you know, kind of a modern day futuristic techie looking vampire from, like, you know, I don't know, more like the Matrix or some crap.
Yeah.
That looked kind of interesting, but then when I kind of figured out after the first 30 seconds to a minute, like, oh, this is like a multiplayer shootery type thing, I bounced out. I was like, no thanks.
Yeah, like that's the, like, I don't know if any of you have any background with Vampires the Masquerade, and if not, I still encourage people to go back to it. It's a great game. But like the whole appeal to that is that it's like an RPG, like The Witcher or something, but like you pick a vampire class, and it's like you pick like a Nosferatu, and that means you can't be seen by people or else they'll freak out. And then you can pick like ones that are more human like but have these different abilities, and it changes the whole game around you, and it's very intelligent in that way. So they're taking that strength and applying it to like a dumb cover shooter, and like it's just I don't know, as somebody who might be disconnected from the game, the original, then maybe this is appealing, but to me it's such a letdown.
Definitely.
After setting that comment up for a fall, Kerri, did this do anything for you? Did the spooky vampires, you know, fitting into that kind of shooter world that you're probably more familiar with than I am, do anything for you?
Yeah, it interested me. I'm not sure if I will rush out and buy it, but I think I will try it. I think it will be one of those that I play for a wee while and then once I put it down I never go back to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been, I don't know that I've ever really played any vampire game, so that aspect of it really excited me. And again, picking the different class was interesting, so I will pick it up at some point. But if that was a PS5 exclusive or whatever, it wouldn't push me to get a PS5.
That's a good point, because to me that game smells of Game Pass. You know, like that's a game that I think would do really well on Game Pass, but probably won't do great if it's a PS5 exclusive. I don't know if it is. It probably is, but
I don't think so. I think with this showcase they specifically kind of saved a lot of the exclusives for the back half of the showcase.
You're right, they did. Yeah.
You know, apart from, well, even I suppose the Knights of the Old Republic is not. It's only console exclusive. It's not a gaming. You know, it's PC as well. But yeah, I think because this is a free to play battle royale vampire game.
Is it free to play?
Oh, it's free.
I assume. Well, according to the article I'm looking at, I was having issues loading the one you put in the dock, so I'm looking at a different one, and it says free to play battle royale vampire masquerade blood hunt.
Wow,
that changes my opinion.
Yeah, that changes my opinion completely as well. I'll totally try this for free.
Yeah, for free. Yeah, I'll actually give it a go for free as well.
Well,
it's already in early access. It's already in early access on PC, so you could probably try it now if you want.
I hate early access, especially for online games. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
But maybe this will be coming to a YouTube channel near you folks. There's enough people here to justify it. Cool. So with that, moving swiftly on, because I do want to get to the exclusives here. Deathloop, we got more look at that. Looking forward to it. We've seen enough of it, just let us play it. Moving on once more, a Radiohead kid. Oh, sorry. This is the... For anybody who doesn't know what I was saying there, Radiohead kid, that was literally what was on the dock. A very quick look at a kind of an indie game. Kid Amnesia exhibition. What was this about again?
It's some kind of weird like crossover between gaming and the band Radiohead.
Not the biggest Radiohead fan, if I'm honest, so not going to do much for me.
It's something like, I don't know, Radiohead are doing something. This is probably going to coincide with the release of a Radiohead album or something like this, and it's going to be like an experience. Listen to the album through a game or some, you know, the usual artsy stuff that artsy people like to do.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's, when it says like virtual exhibit, I'd say, Shane, you're dead right. It'll be like you just walk through and then it'll play like certain audio cues into your headphones, and when the camera's in a certain position, you get a certain combination of frequencies that sounds like a song or whatever.
Sure.
It's not going to be a game as much as it's going to be just one of those weird things you download and go, okay, that took up too much space.
Yeah, and you never look at it again. Yeah. Tchia is another one that looks more interesting every time I see it. This is that one that looks kind of like cartoonish, but you're a little girl on an island who can take over any living being, it seems.
Yeah. It looks like a bit of fun. It looks like a fun one for the kids as well, you know, because kids play games. It's not just all us adults it's not all us adults who sit here making podcasts talking about things. Kids play games too, so it's nice that there's something in there for the kiddies.
It's nice that you're here with us, Shane, to, you know, keep us in touch with the younger demographic.
Yes, I am definitely the one to keep you in touch with the youth.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw the ad for this, and while I didn't see much of it in the ad, I hope the one thing this game, it's the first time I've ever really thought about it, especially off of Game Trailer. If they nail the lighting in this, I feel like it could be one of the best looking games to be released this year, honestly. Like, just that art style, and if they get the lighting right, because there was one shot I saw in the trailer when they were sailing out towards the sunset, and I was like, oh, give us a bit more oranges, up your blues, and package that and send it off to me.
Yeah.
That is lovely.
Yeah, because the art style is a bit like, it's hard to know whether I like it or not. It's like, it's somewhere between like claymation and Pixar, and I do like what it's doing, and I agree with you, with the right lighting that will really sing. But every time I see it, I do like it more, so that's a good sign. Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy are getting remasters, ladies and gentlemen. They look perfectly fine on the PS5 right now, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
The rest of our exclusives now, here we go. Here's the big ones. So Marvel, let's just talk everything Marvel up front here. We got a very quick look at what is revealed to be an upcoming project from Insomniac, the developers behind obviously Spider-Man, but other open worlds such as oh crap, what's it called again? Infamous, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Phil. But we got to look at what's going to be their next superhero property, it seems, Wolverine. And I actually put down my glass. I went, okay, I'm not the biggest Marvel nerd. I know I seem like I am. I'm always talking about them on the show. But I don't really care that much about comics and all that type of stuff. But when I seen this, I went, Insomniac? Wolverine? That will be amazing. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I cared about the Insomniac part.
Yes, yeah. If that was some other developer, I wouldn't care. And it was just like, oh my god, the Spider-Man people are making another superhero game, and it's freaking Wolverine.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Hopefully, because what a Wolverine game really needs is nice fluid combat, and they've already shown they do that very well.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said, like you couldn't hand it off to a better group of dudes. You couldn't hand it off to anyone better.
Yeah, like an understanding of the character, an understanding of open world games in general, and just a pedigree behind that team at the moment. Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. Kerri, I've never actually asked, like, are you a Marvel-y type superhero type person? I know that's like it's a weird place we are culturally at the moment, where like I think at first that was like such a nerdy thing that only the nerdiest of nerds would be, and then at one point it became water cooler acceptable, and now we're kind of at the other end of it where we've had too much of it and we're kind of like getting full circle back around again. Where are you on this kind of culture of things?
I love Marvel, absolutely. My dad used to have comics and stuff, and I'd read them all, and it was great. And I'm excited about Wolverine. I really love the movies, so hopefully the game will be brilliant. But yeah, I love Marvel. Love all the movies.
Are you a Hugh Jackman stan?
I really like Hugh Jackman. Yeah. I haven't seen Logan.
Oh, that's so good.
I know.
That is so good.
I've seen the rest of them. I just haven't seen Logan because I was told it's so different from all the other ones that I haven't gone to watch it. But I love Hugh Jackman, so he can't do anything wrong in my eyes.
If you love Hugh Jackman and if you love Marvel comics from when you were a kid and stuff, I think Logan, you could end up liking that a lot more than the other X-Men films. I would argue it's much better than the OG X-Men films, but that's obviously that'll be a personal preference thing, you know. But yeah, don't sleep on that one. That's a good one for sure. Patrick Stewart in that film is amazing as well. But yeah, we did see Wolverine, but also we got a teaser that I wasn't expecting, which was because it was so close on the heels of the last game. Is we got the next Spider-Man in our sights. It's going to be Spider-Man 2. It looks like it's going to do exactly what we wanted and give us both of the Spider-Men. But also, like they're throwing everything at this one. It seems like Venom is going to be the big bad or whatever in this one. I thought that was pretty bold. Like second game in the series. I know Miles Morales, but that was like a DLC. Like, you know, this is like the second that has a number 2 in the title. And they're going straight to Venom, you know. I'm excited though. I'm really excited.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'm not thinking about it because what it did also reveal was the release date is 2023, and to me that's the same as not announcing a game at all. Yeah. So I suppose that's a big contributor as to why we got it so quickly. Yeah, right.
That's true.
That Venom reveal at the end was very nice, but yeah, I'm taking a lot of this with a grain of salt. It's very hard for me to go, oh yes, I get to be excited till 2023, but yeah, hopefully. I mean, again, it's Insomniac as well, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. It is.
Yeah. So. I mean,
but like I agree with you. I think that like if something's that far out, you know, we should really hold our judgment until it's actually coming out, you know, because nothing exists until it exists, you know. But having said that, this team, if their track record for the last couple of years can be believed, like last year alone, like they did Spider-Man 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it is now, but then they went directly into the studio and cranked out Miles Morales at the same time as doing Ratchet and Clank, both on a brand new platform, and released them like months apart. You know, like I think this team are going to be. Like I say, they started development on that the minute Miles Morales shipped. I would not be surprised if that's like pretty far along, even at this point for where it is. But I think the fact that it's out in 2023 and possibly further, it'll probably get pushed or at some point, is a good thing, because I want to know where their head's at for this particular one, because I'm interested. Like, I want to see, like, yeah, okay, they're doing Venom, that's interesting. Okay, and I do know that there's 2 Spider-Men in it. Okay, that's cool. Now go away and never show me another thing for like the next 3 years or however long it takes them to push it out there. Take as much time as you need and just let's shut up about it now. On like, thank you for letting me know. I will see you in 2 years' time. You know, but I agree with you. I do agree with you. It is too early to get too excited. But I'm a nerd, so forgive me. But with that, we all got a look at our favorite games. All of our collectively, surely this is our favorite game series of the State of Play. Gran Turismo 7, ladies and gentlemen. We got a look at Gran Turismo 7. Aaron, are you actually excited?
Genuinely, yeah, kind of. Well, I'm not excited for it as much as I love a good track racing game every so often, because they're just tech demos.
Yeah.
Like they are. Plus, the one thing I loved about this, now I've never really gotten much into Gran Turismo as much as, like, if I pick up a PS5, I'll definitely pick it up, because there's something, maybe it goes back to that, like, fluidity and movement. It's just sitting here watching a car in front of you just slowly glide through a track. It just gives me a bit of satisfaction. I also still, at the age I am, I don't have the ability to play a racing game and not also go along with the engine. So that's something I'm looking
your
forward
hands
to.
and your shoulders.
With the controller, and even when I crash, I start going. But it's, I don't know. I'm not buzzing for it. Gran Turismo games, or even just especially track or like career racing games, I guess would be a better way of putting it. Career racing games, whenever I play them, I always feel like there's a bit of a, maybe it's just me and my own issues, but I feel like there's a bit of a waste of time in them, where like I finish playing them, I'm like, the end of that game was the exact same as the start of it. I didn't gain or lose anything. But at the same time, I don't know, they're fun. They're fun and they're satisfying. I like my plane simulators. I like my driving simulators.
I can't say anything. I was on the show last week praising a game where you clean houses. I get it.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder how many people are really holding out to buy a PS5 for the sim racing, because with the exception of Gran Turismo every like 7 years, what else is there on it? Surely people that are into that have a PC or whatever it is, you know. So I don't know. Yeah. But it looks cool as always. It's a tech demo, probably 2 years too late.
Yeah.
But
congratulations. Your racing games now look like they're on PC.
There we go. We've made the full transition. But I think really the star of the show was very much something that we all wanted to see in flight, because it is coming soon, is God of War Ragnarok. We got our first gameplay look at the sequel to the last God of War, and I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have not shaved properly in about 2 or 3 months now, and it's getting to the point where I was kind of like, should I shave? Should I not? And I seen this trailer, and I seen Kratos' kick-ass beard, and I went, no, I am not shaving, because I am so excited for God of War Ragnarok.
You should, the day it releases, you should shave. Set that as a challenge.
Wow.
The day it releases, you finally shave. Yeah.
No, because I'll want it all the more. As I played in 40 hours looking at that glorious beard swinging in the PS5 wind. Are you mad? But no, this game lit my fire, I have to say.
Yep.
Really, really into it. I like the fact that some time has passed. Atreus, the son of War, is older, it seems. Some time has gone by, and it looks like they're going to wrap up the entire Norse thing it seems.
Yeah.
They're taking on pretty much everyone, including Thor, who we didn't get to see in this trailer, but we did see after the fact in imagery, who is kind of looking more like his burly Nordic origins than his hunky Australian MCU counterpart. Kerri, I'm going to go to you because I feel like we speak too freely here. I want to make sure that we get your take on this. God of War, how are you on this? Does this do much for you?
So I was mostly Xbox for a very, very long time, so I haven't played it. I've kind of, because of Destiny, I've moved more so towards PlayStation, and from watching that, it definitely makes me want to go and play the others.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it would be, I can't really give much of an opinion on it because I haven't played the other one, so you've probably come to me at the wrong time, to be honest.
That's fair. Do you know what the gameplay of God of War, it kind of reminds me of a bit more of an involved version of, do you know when you're a hunter in Destiny? And you know when you do your special and you like go into third person mode and you're like slashing people and stuff?
Yeah.
That kind of gameplay is kind of what the newer God of War is like, only a lot more involved. There's a lot more going on, you know.
Yeah.
But the story is so good and it just looks beautiful, and
It does.
this
It really
this
does.
looks like it's going to get all of those things and ratchet them up again, and I'm ready to
Yeah.
cry again. Shane, are you?
Definitely. I am out here living for Chonk Tour. I love it. But yeah, it looks amazing. It looks like
Name of the show, ladies and gentlemen, Living for Chunk Tour.
It looks like exactly what you want. It's more God of War. It looks larger in scope. It looks super pretty. The story has developed. Like what more do you want? For anyone who hasn't seen like the images of Chunk Tour, as he's now been dubbed, he looks almost like a strongman, you know, like the strongman contests you see on TV. He has more of that kind of build, instead of having like, you know, a 12-pack and like pecs out to the size of his arms.
And being Australian.
Yes, that kind of thing. He looks more like a power lifter or a like a strongman with a big huge beard and stuff. And I am loving it because like a strongman could mess you up if he like punched you in the face.
Yeah, for sure. And like this, you're right, by the way, Aaron. He wouldn't do well on Home and Away. But this Thor, he does live up to the kind of Nordic folklore or whatever. Because like Thor, like the stories had always gone that like he has a bit of a problem, in the sense that like, yes, he's an amazing warrior and yes, he's the god of thunder, but he also loves to battle and pillage and, you know, eat ferocious amounts and drink ferocious amounts. So he has always been portrayed with like a stomach and stuff. It's only like in later years that he's ever had that like 6-pack or whatever. And I'm right there with you. I'm in the pocket for Chonk Tor as well, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Any other things that we spotted in that trailer, or are we all just feverishly waiting for to get our hands on it?
I was just in awe of watching it. The one thing I did notice was no semblance of a release date, window, year, anything.
Yes, that was odd. I did expect to get a release window. I did say earlier we're getting it soon. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It could be wrong.
That was my only, apart from being absolutely mesmerized by how stunning it looked, that was my other takeaway, was that there was no hint of a release window, time, date, anything.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. But I don't know. Also, like, just a note, Cory Barlog is not at the helm, it seems. The director from the last game, he's handed it over. He's apparently working on something unconfirmed. But yeah, they've done that in the past with other games. Like Cory has done 2 or 3. I think he's the only person in the interview I seen afterwards. They said he's the only one that ever directed more than one. But they have always handed it around, and I guess it is pretty well established since the last one. So just don't mess it up, I guess. But it should be interesting. So let's hope we get a release date pretty soon. But that has pretty much been what was covered in the State of Play. Guys, did we skip over anything? Was there anything that we wanted to cover?
Not for me anyway. We hit all the important stuff, I think.
Awesome. Well then, let's get right into the unimportant stuff. But no, seriously, that has been that. So I think overall, a pretty strong State of Play. Not a lot of stuff that we know when we're going to get our hands on, but a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to. So yeah, it's kind of a win.
Yeah, I'm happy. I like to have things to look forward to. You know, I know, look, it's great to have a game coming out next month or in like 2 or 3 months, but it's also nice to know that my investment in my PS5 looks like it's going to be worth it down the line as well.
That was 100% what this showcase was about. It was about, we don't have anything for you this Christmas and we are sorry, but look what's coming soon, you know, and that's 100% the message here. But I'm for it because I already have a PS5, so I don't care. You know? And I realize how lucky I am to say that, and I do feel for anybody like Kerri that is finding it hard to get one at the moment. Any luck with that?
No, sadly not. It's like I follow all the Twitter pages and everything, and you know, I have the money there. I'm just waiting on it, and every time I see it, it's too late because they release at like 2:00 in the morning, and I'm in dreamland, unfortunately. So
please don't like stay up all night in order to try and get these things. It's not worth it, trust me.
You say that, but my PlayStation is actually on the way out, so that's why. And then I also want a new Xbox because my Xbox is really old and chunky, as you can see up there. So yeah, I need both new consoles, and they're both ridiculously hard to get hold of. So big sad for me.
Okay, guys, you heard it here first. If you get any updates in Ireland, specifically in Ireland, where, or maybe up to North, where you can get a PS5 or Xbox Series console, you gotta let us know in the comments down below, because Kerri is on the lookout. But no, we'll all keep an eye. I had to do that too. I had to literally just stalk Twitter, and then one day it was just like, I'd stare, I have the money, go!
Yeah.
You know?
Go.
But with that, guys, that has been our state of play, and we are going to wrap things up. But before we do, let's do this very quickly. No more than 5 minutes here, folks. Okay, so get your answers ready. We're going to do our question of the week, and I really wanted to do this question of the week for one good reason, which I'll get into in just a moment. Play that thing.
Question of the week.
Now, the reason I really wanted to get into this question of the week is because of who asked it, okay? Eric Rodriguez, A-Rod, you may be familiar with that name, Shane, from our past streams.
I am
He
indeed.
has been an ambassador for CGC content. He's tuned into pretty much everything we've ever done, and he has contributed in our Facebooks and our socials and our Discord. He's a good dude all around. The reason I wanted to shout out A-Rod this week is, number one, over the past week or two, I believe it was his birthday. So first of all, major CGC happy birthday to A-Rod. And secondly, a major congratulations, because I do believe A-Rod welcomed in his first child over the last week or two as well. So again, huge thank you for all the support to A-Rod, and massive congratulations on both counts. And she is beautiful. He actually shared a photo in our Discord, so fair play. But with all that being said, A-Rod asked us, if you could meet any video game character in real life, who would it be? And I think that's like one of those really general questions that honestly I would have never thought to ask, you know?
Yeah.
It is an odd one, because you kind of, I sat here thinking about it, going, who's the most interesting character? And then I stopped myself and went, but would I really want to meet that person? You know, it's a funny question to answer. Aaron, who would you pick?
Of any video game character I'd like to meet, in real life, I'd like to meet Lara Croft, because...
Interesting.
That's right. I'd like to meet Lara Croft because it gets me at least a foot closer to meeting Angelina Jolie in real life. And that's my answer, stamped, sealed, and sent off in the post.
Big Angelina fan?
No, but I'll meet her.
Okay. I can see your logic.
Yeah, are you not? Like,
Fair enough. Kerri, what about you? If you could meet any video game character, who would you pick?
Probably Sora from Kingdom Hearts, because then I might get to meet all the rest of the Disney characters, and I mean, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to meet Mickey Mouse? So
that is true. As
I
a
would
long-term Disney fan, that would probably be right up your alley.
yeah, as long as they bring all their friends, I'll be happy. We can have a party and I'll meet all the characters. It'd be great.
If you had to pick one Disney character, gun to your head, who would it be?
Miko.
Miko. Which one's Miko again?
Oh, Phil. He is the...
I'm sorry I've let you down.
No, I don't think many people would know the name. So he's the raccoon from Pocahontas.
Oh, I do know him. He has a red bandana.
I just relate to that raccoon so much. So, yeah, that's my choice. And he's very cute.
It's a good choice. It's a good choice. I'm sure Miko doesn't get enough call-outs, in fairness to him. Bowe?
Until now.
Yeah, so it just so happens that I was thinking about this today, and it just so happens that the character I was thinking of has already popped up in our podcast.
Okay.
I would like to meet Kratos for the simple reason that I would like to give him a hug and just be like, it's okay. You don't need to be so angry. Like, you can stop screaming now. It's just let it out. It's fine. Just, it's okay, Kratos. I'm here for you. Someone is here for you. It's fine.
I hope you do, and then like in 10 years' time, there's a new game, but it's God of Love, and he has dreadlocks.
He's just throwing flowers at people and stuff. I bring you peace.
Yeah, instead of combat, you have conversations.
He never forgot. He never forgot that time that he gently wept on Shane's shoulder.
That's it. I feel like the dude just needs a hug. Like, he seems so angry.
I think if I could meet anyone, I think I'd want to pick someone weird. I don't think I'd be happy with myself if I picked somebody that made sense. I think I have to pick someone that's just like, oh, that's going to be a really messed up situation. And I think, has anybody ever played any of the Katamari games? Katamari Damacy? No.
I've seen them, but I haven't got to play them.
Okay, so this is going to go down like a lead balloon. But your father in that game is the king of the cosmos. And he is a mad-looking character who is quite literally the king of all cosmos. And he is probably the most eccentric character you've ever seen in a video game. And the stuff he comes out with is just bat shit. So I think I would like to have a coffee or something with that dude. Maybe a pint, see how he gets on. And if I have to pick one that everybody knows, I'd probably be really boring and pick like Ezio Auditore or somebody, somebody that's like has like a big long story and has been in touch with history and knows Leonardo da Vinci and stuff like that. I was like, okay, yeah, I could have a beer with this guy.
Excellent.
And that is that. And once again, that one came from Eric Rodriguez, aka Aerod, from our Facebook group is where that one came from. You can get that in the casual game community over on Facebook, where you too can get in on question asking action, and you can do that in our Discord as well, which is in the description below, along with all the rest of our socials. But with all that being said, folks, that is the end, and thank you so much. We know that we ran on a little bit this week, but whenever there is one of these events, you gotta do it, you gotta get into it. And I have to say, I did it in wonderful company. I have to say, Aaron, thank you very much for joining us this week, my friend.
Thank you for having me and us.
You don't need to thank. You're a part of the furniture, my friend. Shane, as always, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no buds.
Short and sweet. Bring that man a Kratos. And for the second week, and hopefully not the last, I hope we didn't scare her off this week, Kerri, thank you so much for joining us this week.
You're very welcome. Thanks for asking me back. It's a pleasure.
Hopefully we'll have you again. And that has been the end of it, guys. Thank you for joining us. If you do want to follow us, you can do so, as I said, in all the description, or the socials in our description down below. And if you want to do us one little favor, please do like the podcast, please share the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, and as we always say, tell a friend about the podcast. And this week, how about you go ahead and tell somebody in your community that looks scarily like Kratos, and then maybe give them a hug and maybe tell them everything's going to be okay. But maybe in order for it to be okay, you have to listen to the Casual Gamecast. Just kind of sneak it in, Anyway, with that being said, guys, I've been Phil, he's been Shane, she's been Kerri, and he has been Aaron. Take care, be safe, but most of all, stay casual. Bye!